high school in 2 years.
I'm not saying that there aren't people out there possibly doing a good job at it. I'm just saying I've worked so hard for so many years to be a good teacher that I just can't imagine the average Joe buying a box of materials for somebody and understanding all the intricacies of how a child's mind works. They haven't had the child development classes. And, to heck with those. They just haven't had the experience of working with 300 or 400 children.
But they've had the experience of working with theirs.
Just one, that's right. But
you're right. You are right about, I have in front of me the George Walton Academy, and I don't have any idea where the George Walton Academy, I say Monroe Drive, Monroe, Georgia. Number 1, Bulldog Drive, Monroe. But it has here some of the rules and what have you for attendance. Let's see, look at this one. No headphone sets, radios, cassette tape players, cellular telephones, or beepers will be allowed in school buildings or on school buses. Married or pregnant students will not be accepted. If students marry during the academic year, both students shall withdraw or be expelled. If a student becomes pregnant during the year, she shall withdraw or be expelled. If the boy responsible for fathering the child is discovered, he shall withdraw or be expelled. Students, neat, clean appearance, pants, well-fitting, worn at the waist. None of this baggy down around the crotch crap.
Right.
And just on and on and on. And but that's the kind of discipline you cannot get out of a public school.
But we're taxpayers. I'm a taxpayer. I, for years and years, paid for kids, out of my $2,500 a year I pay for my taxes where I live, and didn't have children for so long. And it just makes me crazy when... I'm a fan of yours, but you make me nuts about this issue because we deserve public schools like that.
Well, let me ask you one question. Do you believe that the GAE and the NEA, teachers' unions, are more likely than not behind this bill to make homeschooling tougher?
Well, I'm a member, and I was even the representative for my school.
Yeah, so what do you think?
I would say that the requirements for homeschooling your child should be very stringent. They should be...
But they're already stringent enough. Evidently, the job's getting done. They're scoring about in the 80th percentile.
I don't know the statistics that everyone has called in, but I would be curious to hear a study that has actually followed a child for many, many years.
Yeah.
Because another thing that goes hand in hand is that a successful student has a heck of a parent behind them at home, whether they're in private, public, or homeschool.
Sure, it takes an exception, no question. Hey, thanks, Vicki. Yeah. I got to run. It's break time. It takes an exceptional parent to do this. Of course, if you really wanted to be politically correct, you might want to observe that if you don't have what it takes to be an exceptional parent, then what in the hell are you doing with a kid? 14 minutes until 10 o'clock. News Talk 750 WSB.
What are the values? What are the dreams? What are the hopes?
Atlanta's Evening News.
A reprimand is apparently on the
live
way.
Team coverage.
I can see the men fighting.
Top local news.
This includes the NAACP.
Lead out.
Several groups rally outside the state
capitol. We're going to wage possible trouble lights.
Atlanta's Evening News. Weeknights starting at 6. Only on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
Okay, all right, people, who would like to begin this week's meeting of the Compulsive Liars Club? Sir, you have your hand up?
No, I don't.
Don't.
Liar.
Liar.
Let's remind ourselves of our motto.
Cross our fingers, hope to die. We will never, ever lie.
Good. Now let's begin.
Hi, my name is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
I told the Whopper last week. I flew British Airways on a business trip to London.
It was the ruin of me, too.
They have this business class guarantee.
Yeah, they guarantee it's the most comfortable across the Atlantic.
And was it?
Of course, it was the best, but all you have to do is lie and say it stank, and you get a free ticket to anywhere in the USA.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, let's hear our new motto, everyone.
Cross our fingers, hope to die. We will never, ever lie, except when we fly.
The British Airways Business Class Guarantee. If you can honestly say it's not the best in the air, we'll give you a free ticket. Call 1-800-AIRWAYS.
Before you fly, join our frequent flyer program. Travel the worst 25,000 executive club miles. Good for round-trip domestic travel on our airline partners. Call for full terms and restrictions.
So you're sure you saw this at the Health Writer store?
Of course, I'm sure. It's right over here.
Okay.
Come here. Now, you're not going to believe this.
All right.
Yeah, now read it.
For a new you this year, Health Writer is offering 0 down and 90 days same as cash on anything in the store. Hey, anything?
Exciting, huh? So what do you think the catch is?
Well, I think there probably isn't one. It says here if you buy anything in the Health Writer store, like the Health Strider treadmill or a Polar Heart monitor, a Health Writer fitness machine or a massager or anything.
Okay, go on.
Then an approved credit, they'll give you 90 days same as cash to pay for it.
So you're telling me 90 days, no interest, nothing down, nothing?
Nothing, that's what it says.
I don't need to carry cash with me. I can get anything in the store. Take it home with me today.
Yes.
Oh, Cheryl, this is the perfect deal. Shopping without money, taking my stuff home, getting in shape. Oh, I think I'm going to cry.
Why did I know you were going to say that?
I need your sleeve.
Oh, please.
Visit your nearest Health Writer store at Gwinnett Place, Perimeter Mall, and Cumberland Mall, or at a mall near you.
Tonight following Dateline. It's hot, it's hip, and if you're like millions, you couldn't imagine starting your day without at least one cup of coffee.
I want a tall latte and a raspberry cone, please.
But do you really know what's in it? There may be more hiding in your coffee than caffeine. Before you pour another cup, don't miss this eye-opening Health Watch report tonight on 11 Alive News at 11.
Must-see TV.
It's all-new Tuesday comedy. First, a secret special guest on Mad About You. And on Something So Right, come on down! Bob Barker and Shirley Jones are back. Then, Frasier and Niles mystified by 2 gorgeous dames.
Can they just give us one clear signal?
Well, I'm off to bed. Niles, are you coming?
Curse these infernal riddles.
Frasier followed by Caroline in the City and Dateline tonight.
Tonight, starting at 8 on 11 Alive, your NBC station.
Well, I'm here with PC Modem, the computer genius from CompUSA.
Yeah, we're here on the private Toshiba corporate jet.
You know, that fine sound effect, I almost believed it.
It's to prove that for busy execs on the go, nothing makes life more productive than a Toshiba notebook computer.
Is that because they represent state-of-the-art technology with prices that are easy to put on an expense report?
Where'd you hear that?
The pilot mentioned it in his opening remarks.
Come to CompUSA for the Toshiba 205 CDS P100 notebook PC. It features 100 megahertz Pentium processor, 8 megabyte RAM, 810 megabyte hard drive, 6X internal CD-ROM drive, interchangeable with 3.5-inch floppy drive, 11.3-inch dual-color screen, and a lot more. And a Toshiba 205 CDS P100 is just $1599.99 at CompUSA.
PC, flying here in the Toshiba corporate jet was a great way to demonstrate why Toshiba notebook computers are such a great deal.
Hey, here's the beverage card. You want anything?
Yeah. You got a Toshiba CDS notebook?
They're not on the beverage card.
Oh, well, then just a bag of nuts.
Remember, CompUSA has no interest, no payments for 6 months with no minimum purchase. Offer expires 3/1/97. Must be paid in full within 6 months of purchase date. Subject to approval. Finance charge assessed from purchase date. Variable APR of 22.05% as of 12/25/96. 50 cents minimum finance charge may apply.
I'm meteorologist Kirk Mellish. A couple more very pleasant days to enjoy. Complete weather report updated in 10 minutes.
Talking about the things that you really care about with Atlanta's #1 talk show, Neal Boortz, on News Talk 750 WSB.
You know, with all due respect to the teachers out there and the caller we had on just before that break, teachers love to talk. Certified teachers love to talk about all of the extra little nuances that they have to engage in order to teach children. The child development issues and social and psychological aspects of teaching and what have you. Is this one of the reasons that teachers can't teach? Is because they're so concerned with all these esoteric child development issues, this, that, and the other thing? You know, it's the basics. Not that old-fashioned. Reading, writing, mathematics, understanding how our government works, and character. A little bit later on this morning, I'm going to tell you about a school, the Allen Elementary School, Dayton, Ohio, inner-city school. 60% of its students, single-parent homes. 70% of the families on welfare. In 1989, this school was ranked 28th out of the 33 elementary schools in Dayton. Now it's #1 in its test scores. Why? What happened? And Jefferson Junior High School, inner city school, Washington, D.C., 800 black students. Drugs, pregnancies, discipline problems. Now, the highest academic record in the city and a waiting list of over 400 students. Why? What happened? They instituted something into the education in those schools, something that you don't find in public schools anymore, and it made a difference, and something that presumably you do find in homeschooling. Now, I'll tell you about it in a while. Tell you about it later. Karen, thanks for the wait. Karen's in Stockbridge, everybody. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Good.
You're not one of the people down there who makes that Wolverine vinyl siding for my buddy Taylor, are you?
I hope not.
Oh, wait a minute. They're in Social Circle. I'm sorry. Oh, wrong city. I'm sorry.
I was a temporary homeschool parent.
Yeah.
I was forced into it.
How's that?
My child was in middle school, and she ran into some problems. Self-esteem went down. Grades went down. We did tutor sessions in the morning. We did tutor sessions in the afternoon.
What kind of tutor did you have?
We went to school, to the teacher.
Oh, okay.
To be tutored to help. I went too, so I could help in the afternoon. Grades kept going down. She developed migraines. It was just a nightmare. And when I asked the teachers and the counselors, I said, well, what else can we do for my child? They said, oh, don't worry about it. We'll just place her in the next grade. I said, she can't do the material in this grade, and you're going to place her in the next grade? I said, no, get her stuff. I'm taking her home. So I didn't have much of a choice.
Uh-huh.
I contacted a few friends that were teachers. They're retired. I asked for their help, and they very graciously offered to help me homeschool my child. That was in March of last year.
So how's it turning out?
It was wonderful. I realized there were things she didn't know, and I realized there were things that I needed to teach her, study habits and things. I have since, 3 weeks ago, found a very small private school to put her in.
Yeah.
She's adjusted great. I didn't intend on homeschooling her forever, but I didn't have a choice. And something I need to make mention so that your listeners can hear, the parents need to get involved. Parents have no idea what their kids are being taught or what they're not being taught.
But in your case, you went to homeschooling specifically because of a deficiency in the public school that they wouldn't accommodate.
Absolutely. When they told me that they were going to place her in the next grade, that's when I said, no, that's not going to happen. Well, and my question is, if they're going to...
Now, look at it from the teachers' union standpoint. They lost a student because of their ineptness.
Right.
They have to stop that from happening. They
Absolutely.
cannot stand to lose too many students because of ineptness. Now, there's a couple of ways to handle that. Stop being inept or plug the holes through which these students are escaping. This is an attempt to plug the holes.
Absolutely. My question is, with this new law, if they are going to require parents to have a college degree, I don't think it's going to happen. Supposedly the law now is you have to have a high school diploma. No one asked me anything. I said, I'm taking her home. I'm going to homeschool her. Okay, that was all. They give you a little form. You're supposed to fill it out, make a check every day you teach your child, and mail it in to the Board of Education once a month.
Yeah.
I did it too much.
Well, there's more requirements than that. Now you have to worry about home immunization. Now you have to have... I need to go through what this bill requires. We'll do that
crazy.
Right after the news. Yeah.
Nobody even... I finally quit sending the forms in. That was March of last year. I sent the forms in twice. Nobody has called to even find out where my child is. Nobody. No truancy officer. Nobody.
But how do you know how well she's doing? How are you having her tested?
The two certified teachers that I had assisting me were testing her with homeschool testing material, and the school that I just put her in 3 weeks ago tested her. They are an accredited school, and
she did fine, huh?
She had improved 30%.
Well, that's your story is what the public school teachers, many of them, not all, but let's put it this way. Your type of story is the type of story that scares the hell out of the teachers' unions.
Right.
And they have to stop people from doing what you did.
May I say something on behalf of the teachers?
Yeah, sure.
They're trying to do their job. They wouldn't be teachers if they didn't want to be. I watch these teachers spend too much time with administrative responsibilities, disciplinary responsibilities.
Yeah.
They don't have time to teach my child.
That's it. And you're right. I'm not trying to slam them. There are some out there that are far more interested in protecting their jobs than they are educating the children, but there's also so many of them out there that are dedicated and can't do the work because they're having to deal with discipline problems and political correctness in the schools. It's a hideous situation. Now, a little bit later on, not only the top 10 sexy lies from The Empire Strikes Back, or sexy lines, but remember a couple of weeks ago when I was telling you about the politicization, I never can, of the IRS? There's an attorney out there named Kent Masterson Brown. He was the attorney that filed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton's task force on health care and won. What do you think happened to him? You don't think it's possible that Hillary or Bill sicked the IRS on him, do you? Well, stay tuned. That might be coming up a bit later, too, on the Neal Boortz Show, News Talk 750 WSB. Get through in a hurry so that as soon as it became law, they could start the process of yanking these kids out of the home schools and getting them back into the public schools and under the control of the union teachers and the teachers' union.
Right.
And they are I'll promise you, they are distressed that this is being talked about. And now that the word is out and people are starting to call down there and they want to find out about it and they want to know about hearings and they want to know about who sponsored it and who's on the committee and so forth and so on, they're going to stonewall you as much as they possibly can. You're going to have to get a friendly legislator to get you that information.
Well, I was so fortunate this morning to get in touch with somebody who did have those numbers, and I would love to share those numbers with anybody who will listen to them and call and bombard these people, because it is our freedom right now and our privilege to educate our children and to see the potential that's within those little minds, because I think that there are so many little minds that we never see the potential in because of the distractions of a public school classroom.
They do not want you to embarrass them by showing how much better a parent in their own home can do at educating these kids for an average of what, $500 or $600 a year, than a school system can do with these union teachers, than they can do with $5,000 and $6,000 a year. They don't want the word out. They sure don't. 872-0750, and I have a copy that was made by somebody in the radio station who travels a lot, like maybe to basketball games and stuff. But anyway, of the yellow pages in the Milwaukee telephone book, where there is a man who had an auto parts company named Auto Parts and Service. It's in the yellow pages. Let's see, Auto Paradise Incorporated, Truck Salvage Division, Auto Parts Distributors, Auto Parts Expeditors Incorporated, Auto Parts Mart, Auto Parts and Recycling, and then the listing for the 4 locations of Auto Parts and Service. One location on North Avenue, one on Hampton, one on Oklahoma, and the other one on South 27th Street in Milwaukee. However, the owner of this Auto Parts and Service company decided that he wasn't getting enough business from the Ebonics-speaking community. So he put another listing in the yellow pages that says Auto Parts and the same addresses and the same phone numbers. Only this listing is spelled O-T-T-O-P-A-R-T-Z. Auto Parts. I have it right here. I mean, if I'm lying, I'm dying. And he says, since he put the Auto Parts listing in the phone book, O-T-T-O-P-A-R-T-Z, his business from the minority community has increased substantially. Some of you people in the Atlanta area who are seeking the Ebonics business might be well advised to put another listing in the yellow pages, and spelled ebonically. instead of standard English. It's just another helpful business hint from the Neal Boortz Show, News Talk 750 WSB. Debbie in Duluth is next on the program. Hi, Debbie. I have some phone numbers for you people out here in a second, some phone numbers for you to call if you don't like that. I'm not telling you to call. I'm just giving you information. Okay, Debbie, go ahead.
Okay, just wanted to start by saying thank you for covering this issue so quickly. A lot of people hadn't even found out about it, and here you are on the radio talking about it. That's great.
I made a pledge that, frankly, I'm going to have a hard time keeping at the beginning of this session of the Georgia General Assembly, and that was not to let another driver's license fingerprint fiasco sneak up on everybody.
Good for you.
And these people down there wanted this death to homeschooling bill to go through without any public comment without any publicity at all, and it's not going to do it.
That's right. Well, I was a public school teacher, and in reference to the previous caller who teaches in Gwinnett or taught in Gwinnett County, I'm homeschooling my children because I'm concerned about their socialization. You know, you can turn that thing around. I don't want my children to go with the flow on everything. I want them to be independent thinkers.
Yeah.
And she does not realize what's happening in the schools in Gwinnett County. There's a lot more than discipline problems. They've got radical reforms there we've been fighting for years. And the most recent bugaboo is that a parent was escorted from her son's classroom by a school policeman because she went in to observe his behavior. He had been misbehaving in class, and she wanted to see what was going on. And they threatened her with arrest. They took her out of the classroom and threatened her with arrest if she went back in there to get him.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. That was in the newspaper in December.
Wow.
Well, it happened in December. I believe it was in there in then. But I do want to say that teachers are not the problem for the most part. And there's one area I have not heard addressed on the program today that pertains to House Bill 586, and this is my main concern as a homeschooler.
Yeah.
And correct me if it's been addressed, but it's the testing.
Yeah.
The House Bill 586 calls for annual national standardized achievement tests, which sounds fine until you understand what they're doing with these tests. In the past, they've pretty much been academic, and that's why private and homeschool children have outscored public school children on them.
Yeah, it says that the cost of the parent or guardian must take national standardized tests designed to evaluate academic progress.
Yeah, and if these tests are academic, so much a problem. The problem is that these tests have been rewritten, and now they include questions that test attitudes and beliefs. And one of the tests that I'm sure probably be forced on parents is called the NAEP. It's the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And this test actually tests for locus of control, which is the controlling influence in the child's life. They want to find out what that controlling influence is.
Oh, well, I'd like to see more information on that. These national standardized tests. Which test? How about the SAT? Is that enough? I have the phone numbers and the names of all of the members of the House Education Committee that I will give to you after this. I'm not telling you to call them. I am only providing them to you as information that you may or may not use. I notice that my state representative is on the Education Committee. I will call her. 28 minutes after 10 o'clock, Neal Boortz, News Talk 750. WSB, top 10 sexy lines from The Empire Strikes Back. That's right, coming up next, right after the News Weasels.
I used to be one terrible kisser. I was so scared I had to close my eyes at least 5 minutes before I was going to kiss. And when I opened my eyes, it turned out I was kissing the poor girl's eyeglasses.
Get off.
Then I learned to keep my eyes open, but at the last second, the girl would violently turn her head and I would end up kissing her left temple. So finally, I asked my Uncle Morris. Morris says, when you kiss, you keep your eyes open, purse your lips, and forget about your so-called minty mouthwash that can make your breath smell like a medicine cabinet. Get Scope. Its invigorating tingle tells you it's killing millions of germs. Its minty taste tells you how minty fresh your breath can be. So I tried some Scope. It works. Last night, my eyes were completely open, my lips completely sealed. I hit the bullseye. My Uncle Morris's lips.
Hey, get kissably close with Scope. Last night, we rented an Alamo car to Eileen and Joe and their two daughters, Pat and Sheila, in West Palm Beach.
So, who am I talking to?
This is Sheila.
Oh, hi, Sheila. Listen, I see that out of all the Alamo cars, you picked out a nice big Buick LeSabre for yourselves.
Yeah.
Good. You know, Sheila, your parents are pretty smart because they got our premium car for a really low rate, so they save some money.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah, and they also save some time using our Quicksilver kiosk, so less time at the airport.
But I like the airport.
Oh, glad to hear somebody does. And with the unlimited free miles at Alamo, you could go clear to Maine if you wanted to. Sheila.
What?
I know. It's a long trip, isn't it, Sheila? Have you clearly established which side of the back seat is yours and which is your sister's?
This is my side. She always tries to come over.
Uh-oh, this sounds familiar.
Alamo features fine GM cars. Call your travel agent or 1-800-GO-ALAMO.
So, Sheila, we saved you time and money, but still that LeSabre just isn't big enough for the both of you, is it?
Get over there.
I'll take that as a yes.
When it's your time and money, travel smart. Choose Alamo.
Now, from the station you trust, today's top local stories on News.
Lines that are delivered in these movies. And they are the top 10 sexy lines from the movie The Empire Strikes Back. Number 10, I thought that hairy beast would be the end of me. Number 9, size matters not. Judge me by my size, do you? Now everybody knows who delivered that line. Number 8, there's an awful lot of moisture in here. Number 7, but now we must eat, and I will not the rest of that line because, anyway, because of the nature of the conversation. Number 6, that's okay. I'd like to keep it on manual control for a while. Number 5, hurry up, goldenrod. Number 4, I must have hit it pretty close to the mark to get her all riled up like that, huh, kid? And number 3, possibly came in through the south entrance. Number 2, and I thought they smelled bad on the outside. And the top sexy line, control, control. You must learn control. So about an hour from now, the top 13 sexy lines from Return of the Jedi. You're just going to have to stay. Ladies and gentlemen, you understand what part of the movie and I thought they smelled bad on the outside line came from, don't you? That is where Hans Solo had to slice open this big hairy beast and tuck Luke Skywalker inside of it to protect him from the elements during a very cold night on some weird Uranus planet, somewhere anyway. It's about time we start opening up the conversation to other items. I had this homeschooling thing it just infuriates me. I know that there's a lot of listeners out there don't have kids in school, don't have kids in homeschooling. You go, gee, I mean, who really gives a damn? But we all are affected by the hideous, bad state of public education. All of us are affected. Because these kids that do not learn later become a burden on us. They become criminals because they are unable to provide for themselves any other way. They become bad employees. They become burdens on society. The better our education system, the better off we all are. Why do you know, of all the professions in this country, lawyers, a lot of lawyers have their kids in private school. A lot of doctors have their kids in private school. A lot of architects, a lot of accountants. Of all of the professions out there, the recognized professions, we're not talking manicurists, but of all the professions out there, which profession do you think has the highest percentage of its children attending private school? Which one? Public school teachers. Of all of the professions, public school teachers have a higher percentage of their children attending private school. Why? It's because they, better than anybody else, understand fully and completely how bad the public schools are. So do the homeschoolers. The homeschoolers must be dealt with. Renee, you've waited a long time. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. I understand. You know, the ebonics lesson you gave a little while ago.
Auto parts?
Yeah, that was great.
I have the yellow pages. Of course, since it's a photocopy, it's actually white. But I have it right here. It's auto parts. It's amazing. And the guy's business just went through the roof when he did that.
Well, it just reminded me of my son's first kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
Trying to talk to her about what was going on in the classroom was getting an ebonics lesson of my own. And it was really, really difficult to try and figure out his problem areas, his good areas, anything.
You mean you couldn't even communicate?
No,
you couldn't communicate with the teacher?
No. It was a task. It really was. But onto the bill. You had stated yesterday, I believe, that part of the bill was that the curriculums needed to be approved by the National Education Association.
No, I don't think so. Let me run through it real quick. Let's see. Require a baccalaureate degree to teach your children, standardized testing, semi-annual progress assessments, maintain certain records, and you have to develop a curriculum and a lesson plan. Now, let me go to that. Oh, the home study program instructor must submit within 30 days after the establishment of a home study program and by September the 1st annually thereafter, a curriculum and lesson plan for the current school year to the superintendent of schools of the local school district in which the home study program is located.
Okay. Now,
it also provides for visual and hearing testing and a record of immunization and progress assessments, and you have to have a certified teacher visit you at your home school and all. But the real killer for a lot of people here is this requirement for a 4-year college degree.
Yeah, that kills me. That really does. I am right now looking to finish my associate degree. And, you know, I think it's ludicrous. I really do. I think it's ludicrous that I need to go on and further spend all this money and time when I could be spending it on my child.
Yeah, these people are doing a better job of educating their children anyway.
I know.
So why? I know. Obviously, they don't need a 4-year college degree to do this. They need to love their children. That's what they need.
Well, right now, my son is in kindergarten, and he's going to Forsyth County Schools. They are doing a wonderful job with, as compared to the DeKalb County Schools, in helping him to get interested in school. But
I wish somebody had done that with me.
Well, that's not. It's a wonderful thing.
I've never been so bored in my life as when I was in public school.
I understand. But the thing about it is I will be taking him out and homeschooling him because right now he's in kindergarten. He's not getting, per se, the education that I still want him to get, so I'm still going to go ahead and homeschool him. But right now, I'm concerned about his enjoyment as a child.
Yeah.
So I'm letting him go to kindergarten. But, like I said, as far as his education goes, when he gets out of kindergarten, he's going to be home.
Well, if you're allowed to.
Yes,
if the laws haven't been changed to prevent you from doing it. Renee and the rest of you, if you want to call somebody about this, I will provide you with the phone numbers. I do not go on the air and say, hey, you ought to call. That's up to you. You make up your own mind about whether or not you are interested enough in this to make a phone call. You make up your own mind about whether or not it matters to you that these unions out there are trying to grab these students out of homeschooling and throw them back into the public schools because they don't like the competition. So I will provide you with the phone numbers for the members of the House Education, Children, and Youth Committee. That's the committee that has to pass this bill out. Now, the sponsor of this bill is a member of that committee. You know how she's going to vote. But I'll provide you with the names and the phone numbers. If you feel like calling, then you will be prepared to do so. 14 minutes now till 11 o'clock. Neal Boortz, News Talk, 750 WSB.
It's doubtful the Brown or Goldman families will ever see
Atlanta's Morning News.
The pair pulled guns and began
where more Atlantans get their news every weekday morning.
Sarah Tokar's father.
The State Board of Ed could make your child.
Live team coverage.
The transformation from Olympic Stadium to
local news.
Rockdale County.
Traffic and weather every 6 minutes.
29 degrees.
Set your radio today. Wake up tomorrow with Atlanta's Morning News beginning at 5. Only on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
Oh, there's one other thing in this homeschooling bill, too, that you could be a PhD and not be allowed to educate your child at home under this provision. I'll tell you about it. Okay. Let us give you a word about Bob Taylor, my buddy over wants to make me a bet. It's about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, you know, of course, now is the father of a new baby boy. Shortly after the birth, Michael Jackson asked the doctor, how long he had to wait before he could have sex, and the doctor told him to wait at least until the boy turned 16. But this person wants to make a bet with me right now that Melissa Etheridge's little girl can kick Michael Jackson's little boy's ass already. And I don't doubt that that's true. Somebody else here says that the happy couple has not yet decided on the color for the baby's nursery. Or for the baby. Grow your own. Okay, here's some phone numbers, folks. Oh, goodness, I have stuff. I told you, and I had a copy of it. I told you about the web page for the Georgia Association of Educators. And then I got a photocopy of it here. A photocopy of the web page. And it says, right up there at the top, it has, I've got such a stack here. I've set it aside now. But the word years was in the possessive form instead of the plural form. The phrase being 100 years. Here it is. Promoting excellence for over 100 years in Georgia's public schools. This is the teachers' union. And years was in the possessive form, Y-E-A-R''S. I am now informed by a buddy of mine that he has now, at a little bit, maybe 10 minutes ago, went into the GAE homepage, and they have now changed it. I told you they were listening, and I told you that they would put on the fast track, getting in there and changing that grammatical error to the plural form. But then these are public school teachers, folks. So, that was sort of tacky, but they have changed it. It's been changed. Now it says years, Y-E-A-R-S, and it is the plural form. Okay, here are some phone numbers, and 2 points. Number one, I have not verified these phone numbers. Number two, I have not verified that these people are, in fact, members of the House Education Committee. They are all state representatives, and these are all state representative phone numbers. I am not telling you to call. I do not tell my